Today we're going to have an electron party. So we're going to learn about electron configuration. So let's go back to iron, because I want to just review something with iron. Energy level is closest to the nucleus, has the least amount of energy. Second energy level, third, fourth. So here I have 4 energy levels. As you go outward, the energy increases. Now the energy levels are divided up into sub-levels. So if we looked at this first energy level, it is made up of a sub-level. Oops. Let's take this. And that sub-level is called 1s. So 1 because it's the first energy level, s because it's like a sphere shape. So think of a sphere, okay? The nucleus is in the middle, and the outside of the balloon indicates the pathway the electrons are traveling upon. This could represent then 1s sublevel. And when we write it out, we write 1s, and then the exponent maximum number of electrons it can hold. If we look at the second energy level, this is made up of 2 sublevels. So if you notice, each energy level is made up of the same number of sublevels as energy level. So if it's energy level number 1, it has 1 sublevel. If it's energy level 2, it has 2 sublevels. If it's energy level number 3, it has 3 sublevels. If it's energy level 4, it has 4 sublevels, and so forth. Okay, so now we're looking at energy level 2, has 2 sublevels. An S sublevel, remember, is the sphere. Electrons travel along kind of a spherical shape. So it's called 2s to the 2 because it's maximum number of electrons. Okay, so 2s. 2 because it's the second energy level, s because it's the spherical sublevel. Next, it has a different type of sublevel, and that is called P, and it's shaped like a dumbbell. So it kind of looks like this. So if we looked at 2 balloons, we're looking at the outside of the balloon. So the electron, so in the middle we'd have the nucleus, right? But these outside of the balloons indicate the pathway upon which the electrons travel. So this is one type of P sublevel. You have 2 electrons on this thing. So if you think of like a figure 8, 1 electron at one end and 1 electron at the other. The P sublevel can hold 6 electrons. This is called an orbital, and there's 3 of these in the P sublevel. Atoms are 3-dimensional, okay? This, for example, could be one of the P orbitals in the P sublevel. This holds 2 electrons. There'll be 1 electron here, 1 electron here. But we also have another dumbbell-shaped P orbital. Okay, so if you think of this like going vertical now, so it's horizontal. But remember, we're looking at atoms that are 3-dimensional. So right now we get a 1 electron here, 1 electron down here, 1 electron here, 1 electron here. But since it's 3-dimensional, we also have a diagonal. So here, it looks something like this. So we have P orbital here, so an electron here, 1 up here, electron here, and then one here and one here. Okay, so this is an example of what the p sublevel looks like. It's really made of 3 orbitals. So an orbital is a space in the energy level where you are most likely to find an electron. So in fact, you have like a 99% chance an electron will be located in that orbital. So this is an example of 3 p orbitals in the p sublevel. Okay, so a p sublevel, and in this case we're looking at the 2nd energy level, and so we indicate 2p, and it's to the 6th, because right here I'm just showing the maximum electrons. It can hold a maximum of 6 electrons. So remember, these outside of the balloons indicate the pathway upon which the electrons are traveling. So think of like they're going all different directions, right? Vertically, horizontally, and diagonally, because atoms are 3-dimensional. So that's the 2nd sublevel of the energy level number 2. Now, if we look at the energy level number 3, so here we have 1 energy level, 2 energy level, 3rd energy level. Level 3, again, it has an s sublevel, and that is the spherical. So it's just larger because it's further away from the nucleus. Okay, so I have one of these that can hold 2 electrons. So 3s is a spherical sublevel to the 2 because it can hold a maximum of 2 electrons. So right, these exponents are just showing the maximum number of electrons. Okay, so now if we look at the 3rd p sublevel, remember p is dumbbell shaped, and this was the 2p example. So it'd be just a larger version of this that would go around this 2p sublevel. Just be a little larger version of it. Okay, like this one. Okay, something like this then. Okay, this would go around 2p. So that would be 3p to the 6th, because it's 6 electrons again, holds 6 electrons. The next level then is, so remember, energy level 3 has to have 3 sublevels, because each energy level has the same number of sublevels as it is energy level. So energy level 3 has to have 3 sublevels, and they are S, P, and now D. And the D sublevel can hold 10 electrons. So it would look like a larger version of the P, but you would have 2 more orbitals. So you would have 2 balloons here, 2 balloons down there. Right, so it would fill up the space. It holds a maximum of 10 electrons. Now if you get to the 4th energy level, it has 4p6, 4d10, and 4f14. So these are the maximum numbers, though, that can be held in each of these sublevels in the energy levels. So this can be a little confusing because also they are filled up energy levels are also filled up from the inside out. Just like when we talked about going on a roller coaster ride. Everybody is waiting in the middle of the ride to get on, but the first row fills up first, second row fills up second, third row third, fourth row fourth. Generally. All right, but we're going to see it doesn't work that way always. Sometimes people cut the line where they want to go into the last seat. You know, they don't follow the rules. Okay, so the order in which we fill up these sublevels. We get 1s is filled up first. So that's the first, since remember the first energy level only has one sublevel, and it's 1s. So that's this. So that's going to be filled up first. Maximum 2. So if you have an atom like helium, it has 2 electrons, you'd fill up that first energy level. Okay. The next level is 2s. So that's going to be the next spherical sublevel, but we're in energy level 2. The third one that we're going to fill up is the 2p sublevel. Okay? So 1 energy level and 2 energy level. That's the order it goes always. 1 first, then 2. Next, now we get to the third energy level. 3s. So again, s will always come before, will always be the first one you fill up in each energy level. So 3s, then 3p. Now this one was a little different. We don't go to 3d because 3d has to have 10 electrons to fill up maximum capacity. But remember, electrons, they really want to fill up the spaces available. Like when you get on a roller coaster ride, you don't want to be the only one in the entire row because you don't feel comfortable. You feel like you don't feel stable. You feel like there's something wrong with the roller coaster. Why is nobody else on this row but me? So atoms then, they would want to fill up the s orbital, or this s energy level, because it takes just 2 to fill it up for this sublevel. So after the 3p, they fill up the 4th energy level. And that sphere, the spherical sublevel. So S sublevel, they would fill up before they fill up 3D. So if you think about it, 3D has maximum capacity of 10 electrons. So it's like a row of 10 seats. And if you just have 1 or 2 electrons that are going to go in that sublevel, they're not going to feel very secure, just 1 or 2 in a whole row of 10 seats. Because 3D, the D sublevels are big. They have a lot of electrons. They hold 10 of them. So there's a lot of empty space there. The atoms don't want that. Nature tends to go towards stability. Okay, so to be more stable, they would fill up the 4th energy level, S sublevel, because it only holds a maximum of 2 electrons. And if you've got 2, they'll go in there together. If you got 1, it still doesn't feel as bad. So if you're in a row and you're the only one in the row, but there's only 1 other seat, you still feel a little more comfortable than if you're in a row, there's 10 seats and you're the only one in the row. Like there are 9 empty seats. You're really wondering what's wrong with this ride. If it's just 1 other empty seat in the row, it's not as bad. Okay, but that is the order in which they fill. So then after the 4s fills up, then you go to 3d. And the 3d has 10 electrons.